After a week in jail, after a week of setbacks, Arnab Goswami finally gets relief from the Supreme Court of India. A vacation bench of Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and Indira Banerjee has granted interim bail to Arnab Goswami and the other accused in the 2018 abetment of suicide case for which they'd been arrested last week. Now, in their order, the judges have overturned what was the decision of the Bombay High Court on Monday, 9th November, which had rejected these requests for interim bail. And I'm going to read out here what the judges have said in their order today. The Supreme Court said, and I quote, "We are of the considered view that the High Court was in error in rejecting the application for grant of interim bail. We accordingly order and direct that the appellants shall be released on interim bail immediately, subject to each of them furnishing a personal bond of Rs 50,000 each." Now, as you know, this case relates to the suicide in 2018, in May 2018, of Anved Naik and Kumud Naik. They used to run a design company. They, in their suicide note, they claimed that Arnab Goswami and some of their other clients owed them large sums of money. They were in financial distress, had to take their lives, and that they should be held responsible. Now, that was the basis of this case. In April 2019, a closure report was filed, which was accepted by a magistrate, and the case lay sort of dormant till May 2020, when, thanks to the efforts of Anved Naik's daughter and wife, the Maharashtra government decided to sort of have the case looked into. Again, they ordered that the investigation needs to be taken up. In October 2020, the local Raigad police started looking into this all over again, and therefore they ended up arresting Goswami and the others last week. Now, Goswami had not initially filed a bail application. He first did file one before a magistrate. He withdrew it. He hadn't filed one in the Sessions Court till Monday. In the meanwhile, he went to the Bombay High Court, filed a bunch of petitions there, one for quashing of the FIR against him and another for habeas corpus, alleging that his arrest was illegal. The Bombay High Court, and he asked for an interim relief measure that while the cases were being heard, he should be allowed out on bail immediately. The Bombay High Court rejected this, saying that they saw no grounds to exercise their extraordinary writ jurisdiction, which allows them to, which would have allowed them to grant interim bail, because Goswami actually had another efficacious remedy, which was going for regular bail under Section 439 to a Sessions Court. And they said that that whichever Sessions Court he approaches has to decide this case within 4 days. Now, the Alibag Sessions Court was set to hear this on Thursday, but now the Supreme Court has passed its order. Goswami filed a petition in the Supreme Court challenging what the High Court had said on Tuesday, and it was taken up within a day on an urgent basis by the vacation bench. Now, Justice Chandrachud and Justice Banerjee have not given us their reasons for the order just yet. They've said those reasons will follow in a detailed order either tomorrow or in the days to come. However, we did get some very important comments by Justice Chandrachud on personal liberty and the way constitutional courts should be considering cases like this, where there are question marks raised over the FIR. Because, Harish Salve, arguing for Goswami, had raised objections to how there was this whole witch hunt by the Maharashtra government against Goswami, and how this arrest was potentially illegal because the case had actually been closed, and this investigation now was happening without any orders from a magistrate. Now, those exact legal grounds we obviously have to see in the order, but looking at what the judges have said today is actually heartening if we consider some of the kinds of motivated arrests and cases which are being filed against people, because what the Supreme Court is saying is that if the FIR and the case smells bad, then the constitutional courts have to ensure that the person gets personal liberty. Justice Chandrachud said, "If we as a constitutional court do not lay down law and protect liberty, then who will?" He said that, if we don't interfere in this case today, we will be traveling down a path of destruction. One may differ in ideology. I don't even watch this channel, but constitutional courts have to protect freedom, or they will be walking down a path of destruction. Justice Chandrachud also, he said the high courts have to step up here and do this job as well. It's not just the Supreme Court. We need to send a message to the high courts as well. Please exercise your jurisdiction to uphold personal liberty. In case after case, high courts are denying personal liberty. People are being arrested for tweets. So some very, very powerful points, because we've seen so many journalists and others arrested for just personal comments against government leaders, not just in Maharashtra, but in many, many other states, in connection with comments about the central government as well. So again, powerful points for personal liberty for everyone. He also said that a technicality cannot be a ground to deny someone personal liberty. Again, very important, because we have a lot of cases where the Supreme Court and the High Courts send petitions asking for people to be released on interim bail and with special powers, saying that, oh, you have another procedure to go to the lower courts. Why haven't you finished that? Exercise that and then come to us. So what the court is saying, what Justice Chandrachud again is saying today, is that if you have a case like this where the FIR looks dodgy, where the whole case doesn't seem right, the constitutional courts should grant liberty, even if all procedural formalities have not been dealt with. Finally, he talked about how you have to smell the FIR and see what is happening in this case, see what the facts and circumstances are, see if an offence really is even being made out, and only then should someone be deprived of their personal liberty. And if the lower courts are not doing it, then the constitutional courts must. Now, we will need to see whether this becomes a precedent for cases to come in the future. We'll need to see the further details of the order. So stay tuned to the Quint for all those updates. And of course, you will be probably seeing Arnab Goswami back on your TV by tonight.